when did this become okay in Pittsburgh? The Pittsburgh that I grew up watching and played against would have never said this or allowed this. You got one of my favorite movies all time is Miracle, and Herb Brooks, the coach, has that saying, the name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the name on the back. This is the opposite of that. This is George Pickens in many ways going, this is me over we. It's never been the Steelers' way. Woody and I played on bad teams. We dealt with a lot of this stuff where it was me, not we. Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger and Hines Ward and Keith Miller, those guys were never a part of something like this. And I sit here and I ask, when did this become okay in Pittsburgh, who for decades has been the standard? George Pickens should, because of his effort, be benched. They can't bench him because they're not talented enough to overcome what that talent gap or drop-off would be. But for me, for a person who has in many ways admired the Pittsburgh Steelers organization and what it stood for, I sit here and I ask, when did this become something that a Steelers team that is in the playoff hunt has to answer questions and kind of explain effort? That's shocking to me. Shocking.
It's not shocking. It's not shocking to me. You say, when did this happen? It's been happening. Let me tell you, one of my favorite quotes, Woody, I don't know if you've ever heard me say this. You never accept anything in a win you wouldn't in a loss. If you think Pickens has not done this when they were winning, you're fooling yourself. So you mean to tell me you think this is the first time that he's ever done something like this? No. Do you think Deontay Johnson not blocking that DB against Cincinnati was the first time he done this? Absolutely not. Because you either coach this or you condone this. And so I'm saying, Mike Tomlin, you condone this. Because when Antonio Brown was missing meetings, when he was showing up late, you played him. Because he could give you production that you couldn't get. You remember when he went Facebook Live in the locker room immediately after? And what did Mike T say? We're not going to punish ourselves. You see, he was tolerating things in wins he never would in a loss. Now, if that was okay in a win, why isn't it okay in a loss? Because you condone it, it's like a child. A child does not know the difference between right and wrong unless you correct them. And he never corrected them. And so now they think that he says, I didn't want to get hurt. You in the wrong sport, bro. You need to leave football. Woody, D.O., you better tell him. If you play the game of football, it's not in. It's just a matter of time. You're going to get rolled up because you're going to ask the running back to stick his face in there and block a blitzing linebacker or DB so the quarterback can have extra time to throw you the ball. It's been like this. Look at the wide receivers over the last decade in Pittsburgh and look at their behavior. Look at Antonio Brown. Look at Chase Claypool. Look at Deontay Johnson. Look at Pickens. Look at Martavius Bryant. Do you see a recurring theme here, Dan? It is one group. It's one group, Woody. It's the receivers.